Aho! My name Tikada Bunao Ashtu Chasha. Means Prairie Chicken Good Man. I'm here at the Land of the Singing Coyote Indian Center in Seaman, Ohio. I had a story come to me that I've never told, and it's about a little boy traveling. And as he was traveling towards the big mountains, him and his Unchi and his Ita, they came into a little valley with their travois and their horses. There was about 25 lodges with them. And Unchi stopped, firewoman came up, Ina came up, and she said, "This is where we'll camp for a few days. We have been traveling for many days looking for the shaggy one, which we had not found yet. The food had been very scarce for the last several weeks. So my job was put the pins in the teepee. So we put the teepees up and I put the pins in them, and the other children went down to the little river there, little stream, and they were playing in there, and I decided I'd take a walk. So I walk out there in a tall buffalo grass, and there's a lodgepole pine sitting out there by itself. I thought that was sort of odd, but it looked sort of shady, so I walked over there and I sat down. And I sat there, I started daydreaming about buffalo tongue and about the buffalo hump, and I hear this noise. I couldn't figure out what it was. It sounded like a chirping and a scraping, and I looked down at my feet, and there's a big cricket. Biggest cricket I'd ever seen in my 11 summers. And I thought, I wonder what he's doing. He looks up at me and his antennas are moving around, and all of a sudden he says, "Hoksheena!" And I just looked down. I'd never heard a cricket talk before. "What's wrong, Hoksheena? You know animals talk to people. You've heard stories about that." And I looked at him and I said, "Never happened to me. I don't know. I've just heard stories." He said, "What are you thinking about?" "Oh, I was just thinking about something to eat because we haven't been getting a lot of food. We've been living on wild potatoes here for many days, and the winter's coming because the wind has changed and it's blowing from the big rocks now." He said, "Yes, that's right." He says, "Well, I'll tell you what. I may be able to help you a little bit with this problem." He says, "This is what you should do. You go back to the camp and you tell your Ina and your Unchi tonight, put out food, and do this for 4 days and 4 nights and see what happens. You offer this food to the 4 directions every night." So I go back, tell my grandma and mother what this cricket said, and they look at me like he's losing it. So my grandma, she says she's heard stories of animals talking many years ago. So that night we put potato soup out, offered to the 4 directions. We did that 4 days in a row. And on the 4th night I began to get worried because we were taking food from our camp and offering it to the animals and the insects and the 4 directions. So I drifted off to sleep, and the next morning I heard everybody holler and cry riding through camp. My grandma kicks me in my foot. "Wake up, Hoksheena." I said, "What you want, Unchi? The shaggy ones are out as far as you can see. They're everywhere." So I get up and get the skinning knives together. That was my job. All the women was getting ready to follow the hunters as they were out getting meat. So that day we got plenty of meat for the winter. And that night, after everything was done, we skinned the buffalo. We had a buffalo dance. We honored the buffalo. And a couple days later, I had new moccasins and I had new leggings. So I go back out walking again down along the stream. And all of a sudden, out of the sky came a large white buffalo, and he stopped in front of me and snorted and pawed the ground. He said, "Hoksheena, I'd like to say padama to you, you and the hunters, for what you have done. As you know, to keep this earth in balance, you never want to take too much. And this is something that your camp has done. You've taken just enough. and I like to say Padama again. And you know, as you go through life, you always remember this, and you tell people that they will be rewarded long as they keep the Makochi in balance with each other, the animals, the insects, the humans. So you do this for us, and you will always have plenty of food and plenty of things in your life in harmony with the Makochi. Tok SA, I'd like to say about that much.